Legendary investor Jim Rogers, it's an absolute honor to be able to speak to you and have a personally autographed copy of one of your very famous books, Hot Commodities.
It is my pleasure and I'm honored to be here. I am delighted.
Thanks so much. Let me start with the signal on the commodity cycle, a story which you've been closely following for many, many decades now. Questions are being raised, Jim, that it's over. The cycle has cooled off. Prices certainly have, with crude coming near $200. Do you believe that?
Well, prices have cooled off. There's no question about that. But that's the way markets work, Namrata. You always have consolidations and corrections. The bull market in oil started in 1999. 3 times in the last 9 years, oil has gone down 50%. And you know what people said? It's over. It was a fad, et cetera, et cetera. But every time it went down 50%, if you bought it, you made a lot of money. Oil could go to down 50% again. I have no idea. But nobody's discovered any oil, Namrata. Until somebody discovers a lot of oil, the bull market's not over.
But how long can this bear market, current bear market on commodities lie? Will you say that it'll be a year or two and then pick up speed?
I am the world's worst market timer. I'm the single worst trader in the whole world. So I have no idea. In the 1970s, gold went down 50% for 2 years. Went down every month for 2 years. Everybody gave up. They said it's finished, it's over. After it went down 50%, it turned around and went up 850%. I have no idea how long this correction is going to last. If the worldwide economic problem continues for a while, it could last a good while. But I know that nobody's discovered oil. I know that the inventories of food are very low. I know that the bull market is not over.
But Jim, everyone's talking about this global growth slowdown. So the case is, if there's no demand, how can commodity prices rise?
Then we'll have a consolidation. But if you're suggesting to me that we're never going to have economic growth again, the world is in perpetual economic decline, then we're probably not going to have any bull markets. But you're better off, even in that case, owning commodities and stocks. In the Great Depression in the 30s, commodities hit bottom in 1931, long before stocks did, and they started rising already. So even in the Great Depression, you were better off in commodities than in stocks, and you will be again.
Okay, I want to go to the U.S. problem, and particularly on the bailout of Freddie and Fannie, something you vocally criticized and said U.S. Government is resorting to quasi-socialism. Perhaps you made a statement saying U.S. is a bigger communist than China.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it quasi-socialism. I'd call it pure socialism, pure government. It's welfare for the rich. It's socialism for the rich is what it is. It's absurd. The American national debt is $5 trillion. It took 200 years to get the $5 trillion in debt. In 1 weekend, they doubled the national debt. So that the American public now owes $10 trillion, which I and my children are going to have to pay off someday. It's outrageous. It's absurd what they did. And the people who ran up that debt were not elected. They were incompetents and crooks, and we're paying it off. And it's bad for the economy. It's bad for the dollar. It's bad for inflation. It's a horrible nightmare. It's bailing out Wall Street. It's bailing out the financial community. It's not good for you and it's not good for me, but it's good for a few guys at, you know, Lehman Brothers.
That brings me to Lehman Brothers, exactly, the investment bank, which is in big question even this weekend as we speak. What happens to it? Because Bernanke somewhere seems to be suggesting we'll bail you out. The consequences of a failure is just too immense for us to cope with.
Well, that's what he always says. Bernanke doesn't know anything. He's an academic who doesn't know anything about economics. He doesn't know about markets. He doesn't know about currencies. I mean, the man's a poor academic who doesn't know what he's doing. He's going to probably bail them out. As far as he's concerned, he'll bail out everybody in sight.